Yeah.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
back to MikiDz Podcast episode
25.
25.
Come on,
Wow.
man. You see us out here in Christmas sweaters.
Of course our
we out here.
Christmas episode lands
It's
on
25.
25. How fitting was that? It's
Yo,
like
we out here, man.
we planned that out clearly.
Yeah.
Fellas,
Yeah.
welcome back.
Yes, sir. How y'all
Yeah,
doing? How
man.
y'all doing? How y'all doing? How we
Oh,
doing?
first of all, I'm here with my partners, DJ Dainjazone,
Out
sir.
here.
DJ Rell.
What it do?
I am MikiWAR. And, in case y'all didn't know, this is how we get down. MikiDz Podcast,
Mm-hmm.
DJcity, Beat Source. We ready.
Yeah, man. You know what? These Christmas sweaters, well, you got on. So the two that Mickey and I have on, this is from my mom's stash from the 90s,
Shout out to
possibly
Kathy.
80s. Shout out to Kathy. And these Christmas sweaters would have been perfect at for the party I went to this past Saturday. I went to a random person's party.
A random
random?
person's.
Meaning you
Random
didn't know
person.
them?
I knew the wife, and it was in West Hill. So
Careful.
How did you know the wife?
Careful.
my mom, you worked with her like 16 years ago back at A1 Textiles. Remember that one job I had?
Yeah.
So I haven't seen this woman. I haven't seen this woman in 16 years, or it might have been longer. But so and it was just outside of Calabasas.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's nice.
Yeah.
They had an atrium in the living room. Well, that's my motherfuckers don't know what an atrium is.
For
but-
like 2 seconds, I had to even think about what the
See,
hell
it's not in your vocab,
Hey,
right?
I'm trying to tell
I had
you.
to come back.
Above the pay grade.
So I was really just with a bunch of random white people, and Sam was the only Hispanic girl there.
She had a 10.
There actually were servers,
You ain't
and
shit.
she said, I know they ain't confusing me for these damn servers.
I knew it was coming.
Yo, we didn't know anybody that they didn't know me. People were asking
Oh
me,
my
so how do
goodness.
you know
Right.
Bonnie? And I'm like, well, So I think they were just double checking, making sure I was at the right party.
Right.
And then Sam looks around and says, man, nobody noticed that I cut my hair short. She had like her hair onto her shoulders now. I'm like, baby, nobody knows anybody. Nobody knows us here.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, women, they want, they want to be
They want that
seen.
acknowledgement.
Like, like, you know what? Talk to my family. They'll acknowledge you. But yeah, that was my highlight of the weekend.
How was the food?
Going to a random. It was delicious.
All right. just make
Delicious.
There
The
you go.
catering was on point, man. They were bringing out these hors d'oeuvres. They had 2 Christmas trees, man, and one Christmas tree just so conveniently fit over the jacuzzi. On top of the
over?
jacuzzi. Yeah, it was on top of the jacuzzi. Like,
Okay.
they lay something down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then we went to Candy Cane Lane, shut it down with the Godson.
There you go.
What's
Yeah,
that?
it
You
was-
do that every year, huh?
Tried it. Yeah, they got one out past Pasadena. Might be Altadena. Better than Candy Cane Lane.
And they have one out here in, where's it at in the valley? Woodland Hills, I believe?
That's the
That's Candy Cane Lane.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's right before Calabasas.
Yeah,
and
we do
then
that
there's
with the
one
nephews.
in Redondo. They got them all over now, but Candy Cane Lane, when we were going up, that was
the OG, yeah.
Like, you had to wait in a long line off the freeway just to get.
Damn.
And
Yeah, that
it's
was-
not as good as it used to be. Some of the houses don't do it anymore, but the one in past Pasadena is the best
They
one
need to
now.
get a tax break for participating in that shit.
Yeah. Energy. DWG.
Yeah,
like
right.
your power bill is going to be skyrocket that month.
But yo, back to these Christmas sweaters, Rel. What were you saying earlier about us
listen.
revolutionizing the game?
So as our good friend Joe was explaining about these Christmas sweaters and how Kathy has had these since the 90s, Joe had brought it up. It was what,
2011 or 10?
2011? I want to say around that time. If anyone's familiar with the Hollywood scene, it was around the time that Lollipop Mondays was at Colony.
Right.
Before it was at Echo, and then they had put it at Colony. And Joe, our good friend Andre Cox, and myself, we would attend regularly. We were usually there weekly. And I don't know I think it probably was Joe's idea, but like, yo, we should pull up in some Christmas sweaters, some ugly Christmas sweaters. And I'm like, man, you know what? That's actually smart.
Said,
And
Mom got a box of them in the
got
garage.
a box of them, and he provided them. He provided the sweaters. We all pulled up. It was, I think Alice was there as well.
Yeah.
I think
it
Alex was there. Four sweaters. We pulled up. The only 4 motherfuckers in there with these ugly ass sweaters.
Yeah,
But man,
on a hip hop night.
On a hip hop night. All hip hop all night. But we turned some fucking heads. People were like, yo. So I say all that because I don't know if you guys have noticed in the last couple of years, a lot of people have been doing ugly Christmas sweater parties.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not saying,
Come on, give us some flowers real quick. Go ahead.
you know what I'm saying? Like again, I'm not saying we started the trend,
Right.
but after that particular year, I've seen it more in nightclubs.
Yeah.
Now, there's been, I'm sure, plenty of corporate gigs and events private events that they've done that.
Because you probably seen it in bars as well. Because it's like it's a white guy thing. It's a white person thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you gotta say it.
Yeah.
As far as,
I'm on quarter white. I can say it.
As far as nightclubs, I've been seeing it a lot more in these last couple of years. So I'm just like, listen, man, I'm just saying, you check the archives. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
check the archives. You can go back.
I was actually there that night.
You were?
BTW. I think it was the one time I was there at Lollipop Mondays. One time. We were friends, but we weren't really friends.
Right.
It was the whole that era
that
of
phase.
our friendship.
Were you in a relationship?
I was definitely in a jacket. No, I don't.
Because when you were in a relationship, you kind of disappeared from the club
maybe
scene.
I was in and out of the relationship.
Okay,
I was
fair.
definitely still in the scene.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't go out.
Yeah, you
that
went through
on
a phase of not
weekdays.
going out.
That's right.
Because I was doing like more corporate stuff, I think, at the time than anything. Not quite the club stuff. But I remember that night. It was a good,
man, listen.
It was a good chunk.
Man. But ever since then, it's been a new fab. Ugly Christmas sweaters. Everybody doing that shit.
Right.
Well, man.
Well, Amazon is making a killing off of making these sweaters.
Yo, bro. 2 Chainz, right? He had his I think, did he do the dabbing Santa? Or no, that was
your boy.
Baron Davis did the Black Santa. Okay. Which is different.
Yeah.
And then it was
your boy, the Rocket, Charlie Rocket.
Yeah.
Dabbing Santa.
Behind I think it was a dabbing Santa sweater. Killing it.
Yeah. For sure.
So, 'tis the season.
Yeah, 'tis the season, man. But we're festive. We're participating in the sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had to bring the content to the pod, man.
Absolutely.
We're fresh off Dre Sinatra's episode, which was a great episode.
Great episode.
Shout out if you haven't listened to that.
A lot of nuggets in that.
A lot of great gems just about, staying true to yourself and everything else. And then, I'm actually fresh back from Dallas / Fort Worth. It's kind of
how about them Cowboys?
in between.
You went to a game?
You went to the game?
I did go to the game.
You went to the best game of the season.
And I'm not going to front, their best game of the season. I wouldn't say the best game of the season, depending on who you were going for.
Right.
But, I left my LA hat back in the hotel. I didn't want to start any issues or anything.
You didn't bring an LA hat there? Oh,
yeah, I know. I could have gotten there, but, let's just
some of those fans are dumb.
Let's just say our good friend Danny West of DJcity / Beat Source is the Stadium Club resident DJ. Okay. So, being with him, you don't want to start any issues. But I will say this. The Stadium Club is the best bang for your buck I've ever experienced at a sporting event ever.
It better. That's the newest stadium.
Huh? Yeah, you're right. You're damn right. But beyond the stadium being beautiful, and it's huge because obviously they take their sporting event or their football series is really what it comes down to.
Texas and
Jerry Jones ain't playing.
It is not a game. Who flies in and out in his helicopter, has a whole
on top of the stadium.
Of course,
has a whole hotel lobby size to get into his suite. Like it's a whole thing.
Belongs to him. Makes sense.
The Stadium Club is all you can eat, all you can drink.
Oh, and that's dangerous.
There's a pregame
for
menu.
One of those.
Pre-game menu of food. There is a halftime menu of food, and then there's an after the game menu of food. So everything rotates throughout the day. It's all you can eat. They have Jack Black soap in the bathroom. They got the warm towel joints in there.
Oh man!
So
I'm not leaving,
bro. Exactly. We went to the seats, which were great seats. Shout out to Rodney, Ray, and Kevin from El Chingon.
Okay.
They hooked me up with the seat. And we went there for like a quarter, and they were great seats at the end zone. And I know there were a couple $100, and we definitely spent way more time in the Stadium Club than anywhere else.
Yeah.
So if you're going to that, highly recommend it. And then really quickly, shout out to DJcity, shout out to Phenom, who put together with Danny the DJcity link up / bowling competition.
We win.
Champions, baby.
I know you went out.
Come on,
man.
Give me my flowers.
Represent for the MikiDz Podcast one time. You already know.
But you know what's so funny is like people were hyping me up because I flew out there. And to be honest with you, this is what happened.
The ringer.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it real transparent because we're family.
Here we go.
Okay.
So on Facebook, I saw the post, and it's bowling. Obviously, I'm gonna step up.
You.
And I'm gonna say, yo, that's me, right? But I'm like, yo, bring out the pod. We gotta go.
Let's go.
Take us all out. We want a team. We want a lane.
Yeah,
and they were like, well, last minute, the budget doesn't look like all that. And I'm like, okay, well.
They didn't want that smoke.
What's going to happen then? Yeah, right. Exactly. So we're working on that. If with enough notice, I guess it would make more sense.
Right.
But of course, I'm a gambling man a little bit. And I said, look, if anybody scores a higher score than me, I'll pay for my ticket.
Oh, shit.
But you got to cover it up front.
The plane ticket.
The plane ticket.
Okay.
Because that was the most expensive side.
Okay.
The hotel side, of course, Danny being the mayor of Fort Worth and all that, got the room.
Yeah.
He actually got me a gig super last minute.
Dope.
Shout out to Soulja.
Yeah.
Soulja held it down. And I played his spot, Park House, which is kind of like a Soho house concept.
Is it uptown?
It is somewhere in town.
Somewhere in the town.
Somewhere in the town. But it's a super nice
wait,
spot.
I'm sorry. Is it Fort Worth or is it Dallas?
That one is Dallas.
Okay.
Park House is in Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah. Super nice place. Beautiful views.
Dope.
Little pool deck.
What was the music
Sexy vibes. I got to play legit dope, like things I haven't really touched, like that Chromeo, Treasure Fingers era. It was slightly slower night for them. But it was just like kind of do your own thing. And of course, sprinkle in some 80s, some 90s and all that. So it was a good time. Wish I recorded it. I thought about that too late. Back to the bowling. We kicked ass.
Yeah.
First game, it was looking really rough for me. I guttered like the first 4 balls. Yeah, it's a warm-up game.
It's like basketball.
Right?
It doesn't count.
But I didn't know there was a time deadline because we did like the hour, I think.
Okay.
And then it's the best combined score of 2 games.
Okay.
And I got to shout out my team, Joe Vega, DJ Rev, Aiden Brasher, who was the best bowler in the house.
Oh,
okay.
So luckily he was on my team because the win canceled out my gambling situation. And Phenom and Sticks.
Sticks, okay.
Yeah. And it was, we won by 170 points or something.
Damn, blew him out.
Damn.
But this was the game changer. So Aiden is like a legit bowler, pulled up in his own bowling shoes.
You mean he took 2 semesters of bowling in a community college as opposed to your 1?
I did take 1, didn't I?
Yeah. That's why you're so nice with it. That 1 semester.
Yeah, man, you got to get a credit. We didn't all get scholarships to play baseball.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Just saying.
And I definitely wasn't making the team.
Look who's getting the advantage now. How is baseball helping me? You're entering bowling tournaments.
I'm sure you have some theories. You were saying speeches in New Mexico recently.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't bowling.
But the game changer was really that I got to use Aiden's ball in the second game. And I was like shy to ask him because he doesn't have like the third hole. I have a traditional style of bowling. He does this crazy like 2-handed spin thing. And I was like, and the lane was so slick, it was hard for me to do anything with the house ball. So I borrowed his for the last frame and then I turkeyed out the last game. And I'm like, oh, this is different. Yeah. Let me try this ball. And then surely enough, after that, the world was balanced back.
What was your top score?
And I was a good bowler again. It was like 160, 170 the second game.
Okay.
The first game was like a 150-ish. Yeah. And then Aiden had probably the highest score, I think, the whole day, which was like a 177.
Okay.
Lanes were super slick. But it was a great time, man. Shout out to everybody. This is the one part I wanted to make sure I brought up. I got a lot of love from the DJs that showed up to the link up, as well as some of the other great guys that kill it, like Camilo, Fu, and honestly, way too many dudes named because there was like 100 plus DJs.
That group picture,
was looked crazy,
bro. It was crazy. Like I didn't know how we were gonna fill up. So, I'm sorry, how we're gonna fit everybody into that photo. So that was crazy.
Yeah. Well,
how did Phenom do?
Phenom was amazing in his way of entertainment. Phenom, he got better as time went on.
Okay.
And maybe that had to do with a couple of the beverages that were offered at the place.
Sure.
But Phenom did his thing. Go Sports. I think one of the best things that we got to see on social media this week was his conversation with Kevin. And Kevin was encouraging him and said something along the lines of like, get turkeys. And then Phenom says, I don't know what that means, but I got you.
Turkeys mean strikes.
Turkey means strikes. Get strikes. And so Phenom did did his best. And it was amazing.
He shows up with the turkey.
Yeah, you gotta love Phenom. You know, he was DJing at the Stadium Club as well with Danny, and he's just so funny. It was great.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Shout out to Phenom, man.
Yeah.
I love him in sports.
Right. Bro.
What did I do this weekend? I was in Nashville. I was in Nashville this past weekend. Shout out to my Something Inc. family. They brought me out. We were doing a holiday party out there. We spun at George Jones out there, spotting George Jones. I don't know if you guys ever been to Nashville before?
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah,
I think it was just once. I don't remember spending much time going around the city, to be honest with you. But I heard it's a fun party city.
Listen, this is my second time. I brought the fiance out with me this time. My second time being out there, and you know, as a black man, you hear Nashville. Usually, you run the opposite direction.
Isn't it a liberal city though?
It is. Yeah. It is. And you would just think about from my past learnings about it from other people and their experiences about it in the past and whatnot. Man, but I went out there, again, this is my second time going out there, everyone extremely nice. I mean, from the Uber drivers to the people that we were dealing with at the venues and whatnot, like everyone was just extremely cool. Everyone was open, helpful. The restaurants that we sat in,
they give you moonshine?
It was a dope experience. No, I didn't get it, but I had some good whiskey out there. Like, you know, Nashville is known for their whiskey, and they had some good stuff out there.
Yeah,
but the gig was dope. We had a good time. We turned up, playing anything from country music, as you guys know that my country crate is getting up there.
Okay.
To playing,
go ahead,
all the southern shit from Mississippi, or Memphis, all the southern shit from Memphis and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it was dope. We bar hopped a couple of times. I wanted to shout out a couple of the DJs. We talked about this on past podcasts about going into spots and being able to turn that DJ judgment off.
Yeah.
And just really just be present and enjoy it and have a good time. So I was able to go in there and just listening to have a good time and enjoy it. And
that's the best part.
Man, it was dope, man. The environment was cool. Like the DJs were just playing some cool shit. Like there was no obligation to get people turned up because obviously there wasn't no crazy bottle services in there or whatnot like that. And people was just at the bar dancing, politicking with one another, conversating. Yeah. So it was just a dope, different environment to be in. Right. Because of the holidays, the streets were flooded. I mean, it was raining on the Friday night that I was out there, and the streets were still flooded with people.
Really?
I was just like, man, okay. So, we did that. Got back early on Saturday, landed early on Saturday, and went straight to a private event that I had to go do that day. And that was pretty much my weekend, man. It was it was a dope weekend. Had a good time. Like to experience different cities when I can.
Yeah, someone was telling me that Nashville is the next big party city. I know Riot House, the owners of Riot House in Scottsdale, they just opened a spot in Nashville.
Okay. Downtown?
I think downtown. And Blackout Artists just signed a DJ with DJ D. Make sure I get this right. But yeah, anyway, DJ D, DJ Do Music. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep my eye out on Nashville in 2020.
Listen, man, Nashville, I'll be down. Definitely be down to go out there and spend some more, man. It was a great experience, and you don't us being in LA and having to be, up to date with all the music that comes out. Like, it's not. I didn't hear the new Party Next Door track out there. You know what I'm saying? Which again, it's
fine.
It's fine, but it was just dope that But I heard some new K Tronada shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I was just like, that's dope. You know what I'm saying?
Really
so
dope.
I was like, I definitely had a great appreciation for the type of music that was being played out there.
I'll concur with that too as well. That's the times that I DJ'd in Texas, like did not feel like I needed to play anything that was even remotely recent. Cause it wasn't catching on like that. I think people looked at me crazy when I played some Afrobeat shit or something. And I was just like, oh,
whoa, buddy.
Whoa, buddy, slow down.
Yeah.
Take it back.
Speaking of dope DJs, you guys check out Redbull 3Style?
Yeah.
You know what? I want you guys to go before me on your thoughts because I did a little deep diving.
You did a deep dive.
I did some dissecting with this shit. So I want y'all to go first, unless y'all did a deep dive, and then it just doesn't matter.
I watched it live.
Okay.
Have they posted?
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody's posted an official.
The only one that got posted was Lazy Boys.
Lazy
Boys
Boys
was still the
Facebook
phone stream one
Yeah,
that
so
someone took that was going around.
first and foremost, props to Courtney. DJ
Yeah,
Dazzler.
DJ
Yes,
Daz.
sir. Dazzler. She's our superhero.
Yes, give her flowers. She was on stage. She definitely complained a lot about not being able to keep her shoulder
back,
up,
her arms,
everything
was hurting.
She was fatigued at the
thought
end.
holding a phone up would cause so much damage.
You know what? And I'm gonna give her, I'm gonna give her props still, because it's tough. It's it's like it's a resistance game, I guess. But now we all know to bring stands.
Yep. Or just that little handheld thing.
3Style can have a live stream like before. I don't know. No shots fired. Just saying, we were all highly tuned into the streams. It was a little late. I think they even went on their live. DJcity went live. Shout out to LP. I think he was managing that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Possibly. But big ups to them. They on a super whim, they just went for it and put up the stream.
Yeah.
With that being said, getting into the competition, who was it again? It was Lazy Boy,
Chris Villa,
Matsu,
Dynamics,
Shane, Dynamics. I forgot Shane's full DJ name.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
And then it was Finger something from New York. I think
Shane Canefield.
Yeah, Shane Canefield. And then the dude from New York.
The dude from let's find out what his name.
I don't want to disrespect him.
Let's see.
Who apparently is a lawyer and a professor at the Scratch Academy.
Oh, nice. The one in New York?
Yeah.
Dope.
I think that's what they were saying. But while Danger looks that up, DJ Lazy Boy, congratulations.
Yes, sir.
He was the first guy to go up, and my stream wasn't so great, I think, when it was happening live. So I got to go back and really listen to the whole set in its entirety. And man, the level of thought, the way he put everything together, the dub plates, everything was just, technically skilled, getting dynamics involved. It was.
I was like, is that legal?
That's what I said. I was like, is that legal?
Fingersmith.
Right.
Fingersmith.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Fingersmith.
So, it was a great set, and it was probably one of the best sets I've heard at 3Style when it comes to, it feels like a lot of 3Style sets has these filler records where they let shit ride for a couple bars, or they're just trying to fill in the set and don't really know they want to put other things together. So shout out to Lazy Boy, man. He did an amazing job. And, beyond him, fighting his other fights in life,
he still didn't let that stop him. You got no excuse.
No excuse.
If that's not an inspiration, I don't know what is.
Exactly. And
did we say Chris Villa?
Huh?
Yeah, we said
Chris Villa. Yeah. So it was dope. And that's me giving the flowers to Lazy Boy. Matsu, I think, deservingly got second place.
Yeah.
That really was it was up there. And I can't really give my full opinion because I don't think I watched Matsu's set or rewatched Matsu's set. I just remember seeing his set, and then the stream wasn't great, so I might have missed a couple pieces. But I think he did a great job. Chris, I love you, but with this being your second or third time around, I really felt like even if he would have executed and not gone through those errors, I don't think it would have competed against Matsu or Lazy Boy.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never been in a 3Style, so but we do.
For the record, none of us have been in a 3Style, so take whatever you want.
Yeah.
Take all this shit as a grain of salt.
We got a podcast. We're just talking our shit.
Shout out to all those cats.
We're just here to report the news and our thoughts.
Not only are they talented as fuck as DJs, they're, for the cats that we do know personally, they're all dope ass dudes.
Absolutely.
And it takes a lot of guts and a lot of fucking time to go up there and prepare a 15-minute fucking set.
100%.
That shit seems longer than a 4-hour gig when you up there performing. So shout out to those guys.
It's just really good to preface that, or a disclaimer.
Exactly.
Because if we critique or feedback, whatever, look, I remember years ago when they had 3Style Playhouse in LA, and I was tweeting. That was the first time there was a 3Style, and I was tweeting from DJcity's account, I think.
Was it Playhouse or was it at Supper Club?
I don't know where.
Lore.
Maybe. I think it was even further back. It was a very, very first one with Steve Wonder. No.
I think that one was
sound.
like a
Morse
sound.
code.
That's what it was.
Sound.
Blocker sound.
Yeah, Morse code. It was between Morse code and someone else.
Possibly. It was one of the first ones.
I think people felt like Morse code got robbed.
But the reason I bring it up is because Steve is my boy. And like someone who I looked up to heavily, and to this day we're good. But there was definitely like a solid couple months where he didn't fuck with me because I critiqued his Redbull 3Style set in live, and basically said like, "Oh, this isn't it," or like, "This isn't gonna be it." And I was obviously critiquing on the fact of, or on the basis of what I was observing from other competitors.
Yeah.
So if I say like, respectfully, Chris Villa, who is an amazing DJ, we all know that.
Yeah,
puts down together crazy sets. We all know that. But if you're going to call a spade and the set wasn't the set, like we're just saying that because it's what we observed.
Yeah.
Not to hate.
No, this is not, we're not coming from a hating perspective.
And we have a podcast, so we have to say some shit that people are going to listen to. So with that being said.
We have to go against the grain a little bit.
A little bit.
It's okay to give our opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree with you 100%. I think Lazy Boy had a dope set. I always had this theory. Can you compete? Can you have a competitive set without doing wordplay or tone play?
Yeah.
Right. And I was just like, what does that look like? Because from across the board, most DJs do some sort of wordplay, some sort of tone play, in their sets. Like, is that the criteria now for the Redbull, 3Style? So when I was listening back to Lazy Boy's set, he was just, like you said, the detail in his set was insane. And I was like, I mean, he was dropping tracks that had the same snare roll.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit. Like, it took me maybe the second or third time to listen, when I listened back to it, to catch that. And I was like, oh, because a lot of shit went over my head. I knew, because I think the first link you sent me was just like an okay link on somebody's phone.
Right.
Then when I saw like a better quality one on YouTube, I was able to pick up a lot of stuff that he had
some other
did.
Things,
pick up a lot of shit that he did.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I was like, man, this shit it was crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was just like, wow, you know what I mean? So shout out to Lazy Boy, man. I think he deserved it. You know what I mean? Even with, like you said, his other battles that he got going on, still capable of going up there and performing the set that he did.
Absolutely.
Cats that have their full health can't, be that creative and put something together like that. Yeah. So, man, more, again, shout out to that guy, man.
Yeah, props to Lazy Boy.
So I watched Lazy Boys, and then I watched Chris's, and then I had to dip out.
Okay.
But then I listened to everyone else's.
Okay.
And then...
Where did you hear them?
Where did I hear? On Mixcloud.
Okay, cool.
And then before listening to Matsu's, I called him. I said, yo, I haven't heard your set yet, but how do you feel about the set? What are your thoughts? And he said the judges got it right. He felt really good about his set. He feels confident going into the next one, going into the next 3Style, whenever that is.
Yeah.
So then I listened to everyone's on Mixcloud. Then I went back and watched Lazy Boys again. Yeah. I went back and watched Matsu's. And then I went to go watch Jay Espinosa's championship mix or championship set. So this is what I've gathered. I think we have, I think I know
where you're going with this, but go ahead.
I think what we just witnessed with Lazy Boy's set is a changing of 3Style altogether, because when Zach did it, it was tone play. And then I think before Zach, your 3Style was still trying to find its thing, its trend in the moment. So then the tone play took off, and then it went into all these other things. And what Lazy Boy did is something that everyone has to adjust to and adapt to and be better than Lazy Boy at. If you really listen to how he breaks his set down, he takes you up, and then right before the drop hits, it's a sing-along song, or it's something funny, or it's something extremely, extremely catchy, and he keeps it up there. And then there's a slow decline down, but it's not a bad decline. It's just playing Motown shit, familiar stuff, cheesy stuff, just to keep you engaged, but it's still not the hits. And then he starts to bring you up again, just like a roller coaster. And then boom, drops you off with something that's funny, cheesy, creates an impact. The Jazzy Jeff thing, like the Chris Brown, the Rihanna Chris Brown thing, and then into the R. Kelly thing. And this dude, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there were points in his transitions where there were 3 tracks or 3 elements from different tracks in one transition, or there were 5 different elements from 5 different tracks in one transition. And so when you're hearing all this, I think it's a lot to take in, and you're kind of blown away left and right, because he does a good job of not blowing it out the water for 15 minutes straight, but it's a nice roller coaster of up and down. And of course it helps that he has home court advantage. Going into, I'm not saying that's the reason why he won, but going into the 3-Style, you're thinking this is Chris Villa's to lose, right? You know, everyone's this is how I felt. I felt because some people felt like
our opinion on what we thought.
Let me finish.
You can forget.
Going into this, or before the last 3-Style, some felt Chris Villa may have been snubbed, or he felt some way about it. But it was like, all right, regroup and hit them harder next year. Like, this should inspire you. And then all the contestants in this 3-Style weren't, handful of them were new. I think they were all new except for Dynamics.
And Chris Villa,
right? So you would think, if not Chris Villa, perhaps Dynamics. So
I personally think Dynamics would have been the closest to beat Jay's if he didn't have his technical difficulty.
Okay.
Last one.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So regardless, one of those two, right? Sure. So then in the middle of Lazy Boy set, I'm thinking, this is Lazy Boy's to lose, because he's got all these elements working for him. Whatever formula he has, it's killing it. And so I went back and listened or watched Jay Espinosa's set, because I'm thinking, I just want to see the similarities in what Jay's formula was and what Shane's formula was.
Lazy's?
I'm sorry, Shane. Lazy. Just thinking white guy. Lazy's formula. And Jay's obviously was incredible. He won. He did a great job. It was hard for me to hear the crowd reaction in Jay's because, and again, was
this the world final?
The world finals. That was in Thailand or Taiwan?
It was somewhere out there.
It was somewhere in Asia.
Somewhere in Asia.
And then you have to you have to factor in, what gets the crowd reaction out there as opposed to the Bay or wherever your set is. Yeah. Okay. So Lazy Boy did a great job of throwing in those tracks to get the crowd reaction. And I also think it helped that Lazy Boy went first. Just to set the tone. But yeah, that's kind of it. So you take Lazy Boy's formula, and then you look at what everyone else did, and everyone else who didn't place, who was just involved, I think all their sets were great showcase sets, like something you do before the main event, or just any type of showcase situation. And that's not a slight or being disrespectful, because I thought they were all entertaining in their own way. Yeah. But after you saw what Lazy Boy did in his little roller coaster ride of transitions, it's hard to match that. Matsu came, and I was telling Matsu about this, he came the closest to getting the crowd engaged. He didn't, and his energy was incredible. He was all over the place. I mean, doing a loop and hitting the pads and telling the crowd, come on, get your hand, like that shit's tough to stay on point like that. Yeah. So I think Matsu did as best as he could in that situation, but moving on, I think what we saw Lazy Boy do, all the competitors have to sound just like that, if not better, or manipulate that formula.
I respectfully disagree with you. I think I understand what you're saying, but I also don't think a former champion's set is like should be the blueprint to everyone else that does their thing. I get what you're saying, because yes, Four Color Zach really, what he did was pioneered a sound and a technique that people eventually kind of like copied or made their own versions. And I think that's the one thing that we're seeing is people are kind of making the different versions of, what Jay did, right? Because yes, we were doing there was a lot of tone plays and a lot of word play in styles of DJing. And then there was that like kind of that skip with Puffy. You know what I mean? When he did his like high energy, super like on the move, and the way he won was very unlike a Four Color Zach. then Damianito, and then now Jay Espinoza, who did like the piano trick, which is not tone play, but it's a similar concept and idea that brought an element of surprise. The quote that I just saw recently from Jazzy Jeff, which really I think is impactful to any style of DJing, whether it's in competition or in party rocking, was playing the most unexpected record at the right time. And that's what creates moments. And I think I constantly use that term of just creating a moment, right? We can all have all the same songs, but being able to create moments is what helps people walk away from those situations. I think personally that 3Style is kind of this like basically current event for the DJ, so that when you're able to relate real life things like you said, the R. Kelly thing and the different skits, the Jazzy Jeff quote into Toxic, all those different things, that's what helps create the moment. I don't think that's the only way to win. I think you have to be innovative enough to be able to present the same records, because he didn't play anything quote unquote new or anything outside of our Seratos other than the dub plates, right? So the words could be different. But I think what he did was his style of presenting them, of making you think a little bit while making you like laugh, which is what helps you remember things. Matu did the same thing when he was talking about dynamics coming back over and over again and still losing. Like, that shit's funny. Like, and I think being able to make the crowd engage through skits and, like you said, taking you up and then flattening them out with like kind of like a reset and then being able to build that back up. You know, I think that's what it is. But I think it needs to be, I don't know if there's like a blueprint to how to win 3Style right now.
I'm not saying that Lazy took Jay's blueprint. I just compared and was just looking at what Jay was doing and then compared it to what Lazy did. And I think is different. Now, I talked to another DJ. I was texting another DJ that was in the battle. I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants me to disclose this or not. But this is what his response was. He said, Lazy's style is way different than Jay's, though. Me and Lazy talked to each other about his approach, shared ideas as far as what would have worked and what wouldn't. But what he brought, his timing and delivery was just spot on. Everything punchline hit and seemed like definitely had the home court advantage. The E40 dubs, Souls of Mischief.
I personally think he could have done that in any other city. It would have worked just fine. Because if you have a hip hop crowd, they're gonna know Social Mischief. Yeah. If it could have been anywhere, and he didn't have to go.
But
first.
It hits harder though in the Bay.
I don't think so. I think I'd argue this because if you're a real you're gonna see a DJ showcase. You're gonna tell me you don't know 93 Till?
I don't know. I disagree with you on this. There's a lot of people that don't know it.
And he could go, hell no.
There was more reaction to...
Because it's a DJ's crowd. And I would argue...
The Vanessa Carlton track.
And your comment about him having to go first, he could have been anywhere. And he would have won that battle.
Okay, I agree he would have won it regardless, but I think it helps set the tone. There was more of a reaction to Bruno Mars...
Tonight.
Uptown
Funk.
No, the other one.
Which the one with the big build up.
Put your fingers in the. What the fuck's that song called?
Trying to do?
That's
Uptown Funk.
No, that's not Uptown Funk.
Put your middle fingers in the air.
He sampled the Kendrick Lamar song. Put your fingers to the one. That song, and I play it
I play that shit every weekend.
No, it's fine. It's funny. So that song, when he dropped that song, that got a bigger reaction than the E40 thing or the Souls of Mission, because it's a crowd that knows that they know what they know. And so my point is, I'm just saying, this is what this guy said. I thought Jay did a great job with his dubs too, but it helps. I guess it helps. It's a better look when you have E40 or Too Short going out of his way to make those dubs. But
no, I kind of agree with you that it did help that he did it in the Bay, because I don't think those tracks wouldn't carry as far as if they were outside that city. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, he did get more of a response playing the more popish tracks. like the Vanessa Carlton track, like the Bruno Mars track.
And they played, someone else played that, the fifth DJ or sixth DJ played that Bruno Mars track from the beginning, and it was like, the reaction was whatever, because chances are because he's the sixth DJ going on, and it's like, all right, this track's already been played.
His set just didn't, with all due respect.
It's more than just playing the track. I agree.
I think everything else around his set, and Shane was the sixth guy, I think.
I don't know if it was Shane or probably.
It was probably Shane, and who I really was. I was in the comments too, right? By the way, the chat was live.
Of course it was.
As AF, right, or whatever. Yeah. So it was really live, and I put in there like, yo, like, don't sleep on Shane. Shane's dope as fuck, and with all due respect, like, didn't come with it. Like, it just didn't really put well together.
I haven't heard his set yet.
So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think Lazy Boy made his shit just extremely relatable.
I'm telling you, like, that set changed
to non-DJs. If I'm not a DJ, and I'd
agree with that.
If I'm not a DJ, because we can all go in there as DJs, and our viewers who are DJs, and look at it. And we can go in there and we can look at the technical aspect, the skills that he did when he's beating on the pads, the cuts that he was doing, the dub plates that he was using, and shit like that. You know what I mean? To an untrained person, they don't know what the fuck that shit is. You know what I'm saying? But he made it extremely relatable to people that are not DJs and you can just say avid music lovers or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is what really set his set apart from a lot of the other DJs, is that it was extremely relatable.
And one bag he got into that a lot of DJs that I've heard in the past that don't go into, and this is his bag. He got the Motown shit. It was extremely relatable. Right. And that when he played the Motown shit, for the most part, that's when he was on his like, just vibing. Yeah. This isn't my hottest shit. This isn't my moment, my big moment, but it'll connect with you. Yep. And same thing with some of the cheesy stuff too. And he used to throw that cheesy party, right? Where it's like, it was nothing but cheesy hits. Someone was telling me about that. But so it's like his
sounds like a good party.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to that shit.
So I want to add to what this DJ was texting me as well. He said, in retrospect, I feel like I probably should have done more, but when I listen to the judges talk about what they want to hear, it sounds like it's more about the music and controlling the crowd over tricks.
100%.
So I feel like I compromised myself. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and I know you're saying this too, but the buildup to getting the crowd reaction. I kind of connect this, and everyone's welcome to disagree with me on this, but if it kind of connects and works for me with my gigs, what Lazy Boy did in 15 minutes is like a shorter version of what a 2-hour set can sound like in a club. Yeah. Because it's about creating the moments.
Sure. Absolutely.
And then you don't want to burn them out. So you keep the vibe going. You get that little, just keep it neutral. And then you get the build up again. And, let them go to the bar, let them get their drinks, let them talk to the girls. And now we're building up again. We're building up some moments, and you just hit them. And Absolutely. Then it's like not a decline, but just a neutral vibe. And you just keep doing that over and over.
Yeah, but the one thing you can't do in 15 minutes is play a filler song. Like, that's what you're not doing. Yeah. The definition of a filler song in that competition is something that's still relatable, but doesn't maybe have the energy. It creates more of a vibe or whatever you're doing, right? So, like, that's where I feel like Lazy's set just separated himself other than Matsu. Like, Matsu is definitely on his tail. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even be able to pinpoint, like, what made Matsu's set not as great. Because it was a great set. Yeah. I think what it was is just that Lazy was just able to create bigger moments than the moments that Matsu did. And I also think Lazy did interact with the crowd more.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which might have been the separation between the two.
And I think that comes from the DJ's personality outside the tables. Because you were comparing Lazy Boy to Jay Espinosa, and if you know them personally, these guys have very outgoing personalities.
Yeah.
Like, they are, if you ever hear Jay Espinosa on the mic during his set, he's fucking hilarious. Like, he has me weak, you know what I'm saying? And I think that shit carries and that shit shows in someone's set. I've had maybe a handful of conversations with Lazy Boy, and I'm like, yo, I fuck with this dude. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that shows. And, you saying like, Chris Villa, dope DJ, but he is extremely laid back. He's quiet. He keeps to himself. You know what I mean?
I got to give him his flowers too, though. He has gotten better at showing his personality or interacting with the crowd through, I think this is his third 3Style competition. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure.
I think that part has gotten better.
Yeah.
In some weird way, the sets have gone the opposite, you know, in what he's done. But like, he's definitely a great example of like, in the beginning, he wasn't really showing a lot of personality because he's a killer on the table. Done,
exactly.
Like, you know, he doesn't need to do much there. But in this competition,
I think that plays a long way for a lot of DJs. Like if you have that personality, and I think that it works in you know, anyone's mic presence, just in the regular club setting, you can tell when someone, if I don't know a DJ and I hear them on the mic, I could be like, yo, this probably what I call it is a bright personality.
Right.
You can hear that shit through the mic work. You know what I mean? Like someone's.
Do you think we ever get to the point in 3Style where they involve the mic?
Good question.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Crowd interaction is part of it.
I don't know. I think if they start to see more of a decline in technical skills, then they.
But see, that's where like we're just saying it's less about the technicality. It's more about the energy, the music selection,
the crowd participation.
I mean, what we're seeing right now is they're using quotes or like a skit, you know, to create things. But what is it stopping you from having a mic that hooks up to your mixer and then you loop your voice? I don't know, like just thinking creatively. Where does this competition go next that it's not or hasn't touched before?
I just think we're going to start seeing less from a technical aspect and just more of just creating moments. Because you saw how Nasty Dynamics and Chris Villa were with their cuts, but we can appreciate that. But did the crowd care? I don't know. Maybe I just didn't see the crowd go, whoa, for the cuts. They went, whoa, for Vanessa Carlton or you know, all those hits.
Vanessa Carlton is amazing.
Yeah. So 24 Karat. By the way, that's the name.
24 fucking Karat. That's what it is. Shit.
DJs are fucking cooking us.
We are terrible, man. We are terrible. Listen, we're sorry, guys.
But yeah, so I'm moving forward. I'm excited to see what happens in Russia. And I tweeted this the other day. I want to see, I'm not going to be that DJ that says, oh, can't wait to see how many DJs use that Trump. If you're listening, Russia, if you're listening, Trump, I want to see how many DJs do it the best. Because you know it's coming. Cool. Let's fuck with it. Let's appreciate it. I want to see how many DJs rock with that.
You think that turns DJs off though? Like you said, you have that mindset thinking, all right, I'm in the competition. I'm moving up to the next round in the competition, and it's in Russia. I know that there's some quote out there that Trump said about Russia, whatever, and it's kind of like, oh man, I think all these other guys are going to do it, or these other guys, women are going to do it. Let me not.
Yeah, some guys may try to think, overthink it, or just say, let me just think outside of that. But if you got a hot transition,
why not?
And if you're one of the first DJs to go, I mean, I know nobody knows when they're going, but you know, if you can get away with the first,
true.
Or you know, if you have the best,
I'm curious to see what's going to be like.
So I'm bringing this up only for the sake of, and I'm guessing this is since day one. But the criteria and what you're judged on and the percentage of each category is really key in this when you're being judged for 3Style. Originality is 40%.
Okay.
Music selection is 20%.
Okay.
Crowd response is 15%. That's already 75%.
Yeah.
Skills is 25%. So when I think what happened was, you know, we all kind of come from this like era of like looking at DMC battles and DJ battles being very skill heavy, and that's what's the most important thing.
Yeah. And
then when you look at a battle like 3Style that was created for the party rocker and kind of in the points department kind of catered for that, you know, I think that's where it really reflects, you know, what's kind of happening now.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to do the crazy juggle or the crazy, you know, literally you could do one juggle, you could cut up 1 or 2, 3 different times.
Yeah.
But obviously I think execution, timing, and all those things with the rest of the categories is really what's going to help you separate. And
but it's funny that you said that because you said 25% is for skills, right?
Right.
But you said that DJ said that the judges wanted more as far as the crowd participation, right? But that was only 15%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it seems like the skills is still at a higher level as what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? And then you said, what was 40% or 30%? Originality.
40% originality.
Originality.
Yeah, I think that's where the disconnect is, because the judge may getting a crowd reaction is what, 15%? Right? Something like that.
That's what you said, yeah, right? 15%,
okay, so but that's where that's like the slam dunk of the event. Yeah, it still counts as 2 points, but obviously a 3-pointer is more than 2, but still you're going to get more highlights, more or just a bigger response from the judges if you have the crowd reaction, but technically that's only 15 points. So but you can also make the case originality can spark crowd reaction.
True.
Well, how you spark it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's how you present it, how you execute
the
it.
Quote, I mean, obviously the R. Kelly thing, you're just like, oh shit, he's playing an R. Kelly record. And then boom, he's using a quote and then using the hiss to go into
Gin and Juice.
Like that goes into the hiss of the beginning of Gin and Juice. And you could deep dive all day into the set. We could probably spend a whole episode just breaking down the winning and the runner-up set in regards to their transitions. They did an amazing job. Again, nothing but credits to them. I think we all see different angles on how the competition can be approached, to give your best effort. So yeah, anything else you want to touch on the competition?
No.
It's crazy. So, not the competition, but moving on to what we wanted to talk about. And I think it kind of relates with one-on-one, because you read a tweet about a spot in New York, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
right?
I actually did a little bit of research on what the spot is. I can tell you what region it is, but I don't want to put the club on blast like that.
We're not going
you
to
might get booked there.
But
no, I don't think I will.
I want to answer.
First of all, New York clubs don't book LA DJs.
No, they don't. First, I want to say that, have you say the tweet, and then we'll answer the question. Will they gonna and the question is going to be, are they going to have this sort of thing and incorporate it into 3Style?
Okay.
Right.
Just to make it more challenging.
Exactly.
Okay. The tweet says, or it's a do not playlist from a club. I'm assuming this was some form of email to a DJ. The do not playlist is a collection of songs we will add to as we think of them, but to give parameters, the music we want and stay away from includes songs that are overly played / cheesy, overly aggressive in style, whether that be overtly violent, sexual in nature, no repetitive cursing. The tracks are Kia, My Neck, My Back, Daddy Yankee, Gasolina, Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, Empire State of Mind, all LMFAO songs.
You're not getting booked there.
You ain't spinning there.
Definitely not. Like I play I play one. That's funny. Nelly's Hot in Here, Ludacris, Move Bitch, Cisco Thong Song, Nickelback.
I'm not getting booked there.
Kesha, Justin Bieber. Not even a specific song, just Justin Bieber. Barbara Streisand, Duck Sauce, and again, LMFAO. Beyonce. Redbull ain't getting booked there.
No Danger Zone.
No Danger Zone bookings. Beyonce, Single Ladies, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Jesse's Girl. Cliche, Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, Cliche, Journey, ditto. Rather than only telling you what not to play, we want to encourage you to dig through your crates, so to speak, to find the non-obvious songs people still want to hear.
For example.
But weren't necessarily expecting to hear. For example, rather than playing Nelly's Hot in Her, you can play with EI. Which is still something everybody knows, but something like Hot in Here that you may find yourself listening to at a wedding. Okay. Now this is a New York club, so there's the Meatpacking District, which is like where most of the hip hop clubs are, or all the cool spots, Avenue, Marquee, etc. I think Tao. Then there's Lava, which is separate from all that. Then there's the East Side, which is where this club is located. And the East Side is more of an open format, so this makes sense. This will be rules for an open format club. Because if it's just strictly hip hop, there's no need to put this list out. Just play hip hop, right? So if you're open format, you're an open format club, you're giving all these regulations on what to play. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I love it personally. I personally love it because they didn't list tracks that I felt like are, I guess in a sense, no track is crucial to any DJ set. But they've they listen to some tracks where you feel like, and I mean, and I'll speak for myself when I say, I'm tired of playing this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we again, you know, we discussed this before. We have to turn off that brain and we have to understand that our crowd, our people that we're playing for are not heavy music lovers like we are. You know what I'm saying? So they don't hear the track that we probably hear 3, 4, 5 times a week. They probably only hear it once a week. You know what I mean? And that they love that shit. They love Ushers. Yeah. They love
they forgot they had Ushers. Yeah.
Yeah, right. They love Ludacris' Move Bitch. You know what I'm saying?
It's a wedding song.
It's a wedding song. It definitely is a wedding song. You know what I mean? They love LMFAO. You know what I'm saying? But we hear that shit all the time. So to have to allow a DJ to dig a little deeper in their crates and be able to do, because what DJ doesn't, you know, I feel like the most complaint that a DJ has is, oh, I gotta play the same, or you know, the crowd responds to the same
That's
shit.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
I wish I could dig a little deeper in my crates and still get that same reaction that I would get if I was to play Hot in Here or whatever, you know, the song is. So I personally, I fucks with it. And like you say, it only makes sense because it's a open format spot. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not, then you can't put those restrictions on a DJ. Like, there's only so much that I can play. If I'm only allowed to play 1 or 2 genres of music. If it's just a hip hop and I can only play hip hop and R&B, then Nelly's Hot in Here is going to get played.
Yeah.
My Neck, My Back is probably going to get played, especially in New York where spots don't close till 4 or 5 in the morning, and I got to do a 5-6 hour set. I'm saying if I got to spend all that entire time. Right. So like I said, in that scenario, if that's a spot in the you know, open format spot, I fucks with it. I personally fucks with it. I think it's dope. It's cool. I wouldn't be like, oh, okay, cool, let's go. You know what I mean? Let's see how well you actually know your crowd that walks in there. If you're saying I can't play these songs as a DJ and I'm spinning at your spot and you don't want me to play these songs, then your crowd is probably dope and are heavy music lovers and listeners and will probably appreciate.
But is it the crowd saying that, or would the crowd still be fine with these 10 songs?
That's what I would assume. My assumption would be, you guys are probably tired. You as a staff, you owners or VIP hosts, whoever, are probably tired of hearing these tracks. Your crowd is probably over hearing these tracks, because I can't imagine if I'm a booker or I'm a club owner or manager and the DJs are constantly playing these songs, but it's getting a response out of my crowd. I'm still selling tables. I'm still selling drinks or whatever. I don't give a fuck. Play this song as much as you want, as long as the money's still coming through the door, right? I can't imagine that. So it's probably playing some part in being like, yo, these our guests are tired of hearing this shit, and you know, they're going elsewhere to hear different shit. We wanna set the bar. We wanna be different from whatever. So I fucks with it.
Yeah.
I think it might be like a too little, too late type of fix, because I think it's more the venue trying to filter out maybe a crowd like that's more the weekend warrior that doesn't know the new shit, that doesn't know the new records to react to, and maybe they're trying to get to the point where, you know, they're going to cater to a new crowd and get them out of the way, kind of per se. And you know, whoever's asking for those records, quote unquote, like today, current present day, maybe I don't think they're the ones really spending the money. They're more like a cover charge, you know, kind of person. If we were just to guess, right? And
it's all assumption.
But I think that's also completely. I mean, this whole podcast is an assumption. But
True.
This is just our opinion. Doesn't reflect DJcity or BeatSource
at all.
But with that being said, it is also kind of, you're doing the job for the club who originally attracted that crowd.
Yeah.
If they're there in the first place or you booked the wrong DJs, right? Now this is your way of adjusting or correcting the posture of whatever DJ's coming in to like keep them away from whatever else. I'm trying to figure out what Duck Sauce did wrong to anybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was
Let's get a lot of plays in New York.
I mean, I get LMFAO. We get it.
Yeah, well, I get all those except for Duck Sauce.
We don't necessarily know the deep details of this, right? We don't know if this email is sent out on specific days of the week.
Have you ever been sent an email like that?
Yes.
Well, you deal with a lot of corporate situations where... I
mean, even in clubs. I mean, more so in clubs than in corporate stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I have gotten 1 or 2 for clubs.
I've only been told that I can remember to not play one song, and it was...
Party Rock Anthem.
Fuck
No,
Donald Trump.
it was well, actually, that was one of them. But
What was it?
Fuck Donald Trump.
Oh
yeah, and then the other one was when
thought about it. I was in the wrong state.
when YG released BPT.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't play that in any hip hop clubs in LA.
Yeah.
Because
San Diego, you couldn't play that shit at all. Like,
yeah, it was too violent. Like the Crips in the
It's still
club.
too violent, to be honest.
nah, they love that shit.
Nah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're playing Chief Keef, bro. Like,
I remember playing that shit. I remember playing that shit when it was brand new, and this, I don't know if this dude was a Crip or a Crip affiliate, but he's like, "Cuh, I shouldn't like this song because it's a blood song, but damn, cuh, this shit go hard." I was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry for your struggles right now. Gotta hope you get through it."
hey, OT put on one for him, so you know.
Yeah,
True.
he did.
True.
They got their record finally.
They did. They did. Shout out to OT.
playing that for the Valentine's episode.
So my thoughts as quick as possible because we've been running for a while. My thoughts are that to my knowledge, the East Side is people that can't get in or that think that the gas lamp is too serious or they just want to be exposed to more music than just hip hop or even get into the clubs because it's very much like Hollywood bottle service. You have to know someone to get in. They go to the East Side. So they probably want to hear a lot of different stuff. I don't really care to take a stance on this. Like I can understand it from both sides.
Yeah.
Fine, the club doesn't want to hear the corny, cheesy shit. You want to break out of that and just get into other stuff. Cool. It'll suck if the club's trying to sound more like the gas lamp and trying to be as serious as the gas lamp. Because I don't think we need all that. Like we don't need every club to be serious and be strict on what you play. Like, it's fun to play the random stuff. It's fun to be more open. Which in their defense, they said dig a little deeper in your crates. Yeah. It's like, all right, and I'm cool for a challenge like that. Cool, you give me a list of songs I can play. Let's see how good I am.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I was looking
to
at
maneuver around them. But I do know those songs. Obviously, no one requests those songs. But I do know those songs create happy moments for drunk people.
Yes.
You know, even guys that are popping bottles, the serious guys popping bottles at 3, 4 a.m. in New York, if you drop any of those songs, even if it's a female singing or a woman singing, they're going to be right there singing with their arm around their side chick or whoever they're with. And it's just going to be an incredible vibe. And you're going to remember those moments.
Yeah.
You know, and you can use those tracks as momentum builders to get to your next string of songs. Or if the club is like on a decline, well, play something to pick it up.
Yeah.
Give me the obvious shit. Give me something that's going to get things going and get money driving back to the bar or get another bottle sent out somehow. I'm not saying that's what happens to get bottles out as opposed to hip hop clubs where specific songs do bring bottles out. Yeah. But it's great. It's great energy. So I don't care to take a stand on either side. I understand both sides.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like again, it's hard. We can only make a judgment or have an opinion on the information that we're given.
Yeah.
And I think that if we were given more information, like I said, if this email was sent for specific nights, like only on Wednesday and Thursdays, this is the email that you get. Yeah. But if you're spending on Friday, Saturdays, by all means, fucking play this shit.
I'm not offended by the list at all. I think it's just one of those things where, like, as a DJ, you're offended that you even have to be told or controlled. I think that's like it's
a pride thing.
It's an ego.
Are you telling me what to do?
You're right.
One of those things.
Right. And then all you do is enable them to like rebel. And so like you might want to be that guy that, you know, just this way.
So now I said all that, right?
Yeah.
So because at the beginning I say, do you think Red Bull would incorporate some shit like that? Because Red Bull's been going on for quite some time now, and I'm sure there's a numerous amount of tracks that get played. The same tracks get played, regardless of how you flip them or how you present them and whatnot. Do you think they would go, okay, you know, we want to change up the narrative a little bit. We want to, I guess, I don't want to say make it more difficult, but just get the creative juices going a little bit more. Let's take some of the quote unquote typical shit that these DJs would use and say, you can't use these tracks anymore. Even if it's not necessarily in the first round, but as you advance.
What do you think that is?
What?
I'm gonna put you on the spot. What do you think that is? What could they take away? What do you think they could say, you can't do this that would affect the entire competition?
I'm saying certain songs.
Oh, you're just saying
I'm saying specific songs.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying specific songs.
What I notice about Redbull is all the competitors are very trendy. So they want to go after the hot, build like the Bruno Mars. And only a few guys did Lizzo, and it wasn't abused. But typically you see that those tweets during 3Style. Oh, 6th time I've heard this song.
Yeah,
you know. So, but it's usually
last
songs
year was
in
like
the moment.
Obama, right? Last year.
Yeah.
Something
like that. So yeah, if I'm not saying take out Bon Jovi, take out Beyonce, but if you want to say, oh, by the way, you can't use Lizzo and you can't use Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
Have fun. Figure it out.
And I'm saying use it and make that a rule for whatever, the finals, semifinals, or something like that.
But not saying Red Bull needs it, but for lack of better words, does Red Bull need those songs for those moments? Because those songs do create moments.
I think it does.
Or are you handcuffing the DJs to
I don't think either way it plays out. I don't think you're affecting the competition, because in that competition specifically, you're looking for the way that these guys expand on the genre, right?
Exactly.
So it's
because
already
music
you're supposed
selection.
to use 3 genres.
Music
right?
selection was what percentage of
Originality is 40%, or music selection 20%.
Like 20%. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a shit ton of music out there.
I think they should do it, but I also think they have to be careful, because if you don't have the most creative DJs out there, you're going to get a bland competition.
I'm not mad if you just disqualify tone play. Nobody's
tone play?
Yeah.
Or wordplay?
I mean, tone play.
Well, I think it just depends on how you abuse it, because what's his name? Lazy Boy did it, and it was... He did 2 bars of it and he was out of it.
He was out of it.
See, I like the quick ones, but
the quick ones.
But the guys that loop, a wordplay for more than 4 bars or 8 bars.
Have you seen a
8
set?
bars?
Have you seen a set in the last 2 or 3 competitions where a DJ didn't use tone play?
Not that I recall.
I have to go back. I can't say.
I mean, I can't think of one off top, and that's why I asked. I'm like, yo, can you win? Can you actually win without utilizing that?
I think it's just more like observing a lot of. There's so much bad tone play versus the amount of good tone play.
Yeah.
I think that's more so where I'm coming from. I'm also talking out of my ass to say that we can cancel tone play, because there's some guys that I still like. Yo, Shane is one of the guys.
I'm not mad at you for that.
A lot of the guys that are on the competition do amazing combos with that stuff, with those different tricks. And maybe I'm just mad because I can't do it.
Maybe it's just the shit you see on Instagram and you're over it.
Yeah, I'll just ignore it.
Yeah.
Shit. Well,
it does it first?
I think.
Yeah. Shout out to New York. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, Eastside.
Listen, whatever spot that is, call me up, because I'll come and do that shit.
I'll
do that spot.
Just trying to figure out what LMFAO did wrong, bro. Where did you go wrong?
Man.
I feel like Party Rock Anthem doesn't even get played a lot. Like when I go out and hear DJs, I don't hear it. So I don't know. Maybe they still play it out there though.
Listen,
maybe it's like still a thing.
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it anywhere like in a minute. Like I'm not saying just Party Rock, but any LMFAO track.
Yeah. Well, the only 2 songs a DJ would play is Sexy I Know It and Party Rock Anthem.
Yeah, but still, like I'm just like, even in Vegas, where you think it's 4 a.m., maybe this would be a good time to play some shit like that. That's right. You know what I mean? But hey,
I'll tell you what, man. In Vegas, and we'll wrap it up right now. But in Vegas, during some of these sets I saw, when you're playing all like the go-to stuff and the cool shit the promoters and bookers want you to play, the crowd's like, eh. But when you play that cheesy shit, that the high hopes, and you play all those songs, I've seen it literally change the room and just give the room another level of energy. And then the DJ was fucking out of here after that.
Yeah.
Think about it. Half the people like that are partying, not just Vegas, but I guess like anywhere, if they're drunk or off some drugs, like you dumb it down and have some shit that they can sing along when they're half brain dead. Like,
man,
yes.
Yeah. It's like fishing with dynamite.
Let's sing. Let us sing,
That club might be working backwards, the club we're talking about, because I think we're going back to all that old stuff. Yeah,
well, it's just bad timing, yeah, for sure. Because the era they hit is literally the era that is the right time to now bring it back up.
Again, we don't know what their crowd is like.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
What we do know is when we were carrying crates, and yes, we carried crates.
We did.
I think we were the last generation to be carrying crates.
Yeah. I flew across the country with crates.
Yo, I flew to Mexico to fucking do a gig out in Mexico with crates.
Yeah. And so when we were carrying crates, yes, give us our flowers. I remember it was the in thing, man, to be throwing like an 80s party. That was really big. And then we saw the transition of like the 90s party that wasn't really expanded on, you know, but there was definitely 90s parties going on. And I think obviously we're in the era now with that nostalgic 2000s.
Early
and
2000s,
now
yeah.
some of the 2010 stuff is starting to really creep up.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's our calling.
A lot of that early 2000s had a lot of dance records. I will say that.
Right.
It's just more fun dance, like club records. Just more fun than
It's
what's
always
now.
nice to just have a change of pace of what you're getting used to.
Yeah.
But I think that wraps it up for us. We went perfect on time.
Yeah.
Episode 25. Merry Christmas.
25.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget to tag us, mention us, hashtag. We got the new Instagram. We're not really active on it quite yet. That might be more on.
We're going to get
me.
there, though.
More on this guy to my left.
Yeah. Still doing videos and shit. So,
Yeah.
well, maybe Rell seems to have.
Yeah, I could do it.
We could get
We'll
that
see.
going. Social media gig. So at MikiDz
MikiWAR.
Podcast. That's all of us right there. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yes, sir.